Hey, what's up everybody? It's been a while since I've put out a video, and I got something new, as you saw in the title, that I figured, you know what, let's do a review, but it's going to be a little unconventional. If you know anything about me and my channel, I've kind of talked about how I've kind of been getting out of the action figure collection game, and this is a little bit different. This kind of pulled me back into it, I think. And it is the Mythic Legions, what is this guy? The Deluxe Goblin Legion Builder. For the last, I don't know, year and a half, I keep seeing everybody posting these really cool videos, pictures, whatever, of their Mythic Legions and their collections and the customizations that they're doing. And I had to scratch that itch, I guess. So I was waiting on a pile of loot to come and be ready. And so then I thought, you know what, let's throw this guy on here. So it is, like I already said, it is the Deluxe Goblin Legion Builder. This review is going to be pretty unorthodox for what I normally do. Usually I have the whole setup, the lighting and everything, and you know what? I don't feel like doing that. So we're gonna just have a little conversation. This is either gonna go really long or it'll be short. But the basic premise of this is, should you get into Mythic Legions or not? And am I getting into Mythic Legions or not? Am I back collecting? I'll let you know at the end of the video. I would say we'll cue intro, but I literally have no intro. That was my intro. That's it. So we're just going to get into the review of this. First, everybody, when they talk about Mythic Legions, they're all over with the packaging. And I'm not a huge packaging guy. I don't know. I'm probably just going to throw this away. But everybody talks about how collector friendly this is, because you can pull the backer card off and slide it back in. And you know what? That is totally great. I love it. That's really nice. I hate blister cards. I hate blister packaging. It doesn't stack very well. It doesn't store well. I think the perfect packaging is what Star Wars Black Series has, or even better, SH Figure Arts. Really small, minimal, square. Just make your stupid packaging square. That way then I can stack it, and if possible, your entire wave could be in the exact same size. That would be cool. Every single box, same size box. I would imagine companies would save some money. I know that Mythic Legions has some pretty big figures, so that probably wouldn't work. But this one is, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different figures in this wave or series or whatever you want to call it. I've done a little bit of research on Mythic Legions, but other than that, I don't know a whole hell of a lot. So you guys should probably go and do your own research. I'll post a link to a channel that I've been watching a fair amount of, but that's the packaging. I've already spent way more time on packaging than I usually do. So let's talk about the figure. And I'll probably do some close-up shots or something as I talk about this. This goblin figure, I wanted to get something to start off with that was fairly basic, pretty easy to get into. And I love goblins, I love monsters, I love, orcs and all of that stuff. Basically, that's why I love Lord of the Rings. So this really did appeal to me quite a bit. And if you're not familiar with their Legion builders, they tend to come unpainted or minimally painted, which was what I was mostly nervous about. So we'll talk about the sculpt and paint first. Normally, my reviews, it's sculpt, paint, articulation, accessories. We'll go with the same structure there. As far as the sculpt goes, this is amazing. I mean, this is really well done. They've done a great job with this. There's so many cool details. There's a lot of little rivet areas that would give you a lot of extra detail. And whatever that channel is that I've been watching, because I'm thinking I'm gonna customize the paint, his recommendation of starting with the dots makes tons of sense. So that's probably where I'm gonna start. I need to get some brushes, like some 000, 00 brushes, so I can get those details. But I think I'm gonna start by painting all of the little rivets on this guy just to get my feet wet. And then, you know, I might do like the rings and other pieces. But when it comes to the sculpt on this piece, I mean, I don't know of many other lines that are any better. I mean, there's some really nice flourishes on the back side of this guy. It threw out. The only thing that's really bothersome on this figure for the sculpt is when you pull these shoulder pads off, is even with the shoulder pads on, you can still see this giant hole, which I believe there's something with the shield will fit on there or in that little thing so that it can be on his back. So, I mean, it's functional, but seeing that just is bothersome. It you know, takes you out of it a little bit, but it's not that big of a deal. The rest of it, I mean, it's sculpted so well. Even the way that they did these shoulder pads, they did it really well. There's just a single post that goes into the back in the shoulder. So, I mean, you can't get it wrong. They do mark them, I believe. Maybe they don't. I thought they marked them for left and right. You really don't need to. But you can't get it wrong. It posts in there. It does cause problems with the articulation, but we'll talk about that in a minute. This little neck piece is flexible, which is cool. The head comes off, and then you can't really take this neck piece off because it is attached at the back. But, you know, it all works really well. The neck piece looks like it's cast actually in this green color. So they didn't even have to add as much paint just to get it green. They do a little bit of dry brushing and whatnot. But this is a great base if you are going to customize it. So I'm excited. I'm not sure just how far I'm going to go with this guy beyond just the dots. I might just do the dots because I'm not a customizer. I don't know what I'm doing. But I do really like the way that this looks. Like you've got chainmail in the legs here. That's just so cool. There's so much detail all throughout this thing, which is super cool. So the other piece to this is that everything is like, you can pull this guy apart. Now, I haven't really done that, but you can pull them all apart, take pieces off. And that's one of the cool things about Mythic Legions is you can start taking your different figures that you've gotten and kit bash them. So now you can create all these different new figures. Now this, I believe, is a 2.0 body mold. They've got a 1.0 body mold. From what I understand, 1.0 and 2.0 body parts don't really mix well. And so if you're going to get into Mythic Legions, I don't have a lot of advice. You do want to make sure that you understand if you're getting 1.0 or 2.0. But yeah, as far as sculpt, paintwork is pretty minimal. His helmet is painted pretty nicely, but this is a Legion builder. I believe they have regular full-on painted versions, and those are much nicer for the paint, obviously. This is intended for you to paint it yourself, and I think I'm going to. So sculpt is phenomenal. Paint, you get what you should expect what you get with this if you're getting a builder. So articulation, let's talk articulation. Head is just on a ball peg. It goes up a decent amount. That's it. It's actually not too bad. His head goes down a decent amount. I had some folks tell me, oh, you're going to get Mythic Legions. Their articulation sucks. It's not bad. It's actually not as bad as you think. Yes, it's all single jointed elbows and whatnot, but it's still pretty good. The head swivels. That's pretty good. With these shoulder pads, his shoulders are a little more difficult to get up and down, but you know, he can get it almost all the way up. He can kind of rotate it. If you took the shoulder pads off, he can rotate his arm all the way around. There is a swivel at the wrist. Does that look like a wrist to you? No. At the elbow. And then, yeah, that 90-degree elbow, you're almost going to get it with that single, but you're not quite going to get 90 degrees. But I think I'm fine with that. I really do think I'm fine with it. And then I think these gauntlets, I want to say that the gauntlets move. Let me try this other one. Yeah, the gauntlet moves, and it's independent of the wrist. which is pretty cool. So as you're moving the wrist and the elbow, you can move that gauntlet on his forearm so that it stays in line with what you want. That's really cool. Not every manufacturer does that with their figures. The wrist is on a ball hinge, and that works okay. The gauntlet does kind of get in the way of it, but you know, it's not bad. It's really pretty good. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And I think, let's see, does the hinge move in the hand? No, I think that's fixed in. Yeah, that's fixed in. So, but it's still not too bad. Down in the waist, he's got just a ball peg. Well, I think it's double ball. Is it a double ball? Or no, it's a single ball. So you kind of got limited range, but that's not too bad. He can, you know, kind of crunch forward a little bit. He can arch his back a little bit. He's got good side to side and then a little bit of tilt and whatnot. So that's not too shabby. In the hips, he's got the, what are they? The like T-jointed hinges. And look at that. Look at that. All the way the splits. And then these little flaps are kind of a softer plastic. So they're not hinges. It just kind of, that's not bad. That is not bad. Kicks his leg almost all the way. I mean, pretty much all the way forward. That's awesome. And then kicks it back just a little bit. Not too shabby. And then he does have a thigh swivel. That works pretty good. He's got a single joint in his knee, but that's still, you know, about 90 degrees. That's about all I need, I think. Trying to be objective here. So let's see, there is no shin swivel. So we've got a ball hinge in the ankle, and that is a full-on ball hinge that is completely independent. So the hinge will move, and then you can move the ankle how you like. And so that you can get his foot that far forward, which is awesome. The sculpt on the back kind of does limit it, but you can still get his foot, you know, kind of back a decent amount. And then because it's a ball, you can really get some awkward ankle movement with the rocker that, you know, wouldn't even be anatomically correct. But I mean, to those folks that were saying, oh, articulation sucks on these, I have to disagree. I got to disagree. The articulation is as good, if not better, than many of your Marvel Legends. Probably far better than, say, a Diamond Select. Most of those are not nearly as good. I gotta say, the articulation's really good. And then when you add it with the sculpt, I mean, it really, none of the joints, aside from maybe the ankle, take you out of it or are super obvious. Most of them are kind of hidden in there. And so, I mean, that could be because it's all one color. Right now, it's not really painted, but still, I think you're going to be pretty happy with the articulation on this thing. So now let's talk accessories. And with these Legion builders, they don't come with a ton of accessories, and there really isn't much for paint. And I'm going to get the names of these parts wrong, and you just are going to have to accept that, live with it. You can write a letter if you like, but I won't read it. Or if it's really, really nasty, I might read it on air. On air. I don't think that's what we call a YouTube video anymore. It's not on air. Anyway, whatever. So he comes with this shield, and this thing is sculpted really nicely. This thing just looks so cool, and it is just aching for some paint. It's cast in this kind of weirdish green color, which is a nice base color. And like I said at the beginning, I'm going to likely paint all of the dots. I may go ahead and paint these little triangle things as well, and the bases, just to give this thing a little bit of extra character. But, you know, this is a nice enough shield. It's sculpted very, very nicely. I already showed you that it fits on his back here. And then it also comes with this little piece, which is something that can peg right onto, there's 2 pegs inside here. So you can peg these in, and then that allows him to hang on to it. And the cool part is because of those different pegs and the fact that the hole is a like a hexagon, so it'll kind of hang on a little bit better. But you have some options for how you want to, you know, position that, which is kind of cool. I like that. And it gives you the ability to put it on either you know, either side if you want it to be left-handed, right-handed. Yeah, it works. It works pretty well. I don't know why he'd be holding on the inside though. But it's simple. You know, the engineering of it isn't exactly, you know, complex, but that's kind of good. The more complex it is, the harder it is to use. So I'm pretty happy with that. He comes with this little sword thing, knife. It's unpainted. It's in that green stuff again. The sculpt though on it is very nice. They did a good job of it. So I don't know if you'll be able to see if I do a close up. Hopefully you'll be able to see. But basically the handle is a stick, and there's some really nice sculpting in that stick so that you could paint it brown so it looks like an actual piece of wood, and then you could paint the blade and the rest of the backing kind of flourish area. You could paint that a metallic, bronze, whatever color you want it to be, and you probably won't see it, but there are some really nice scratches and gashes that have been put into this blade. So the sculpt on this, they really did a great job with it. They just set us up for being able to paint this, which is really cool. The other thing that he comes with is this belt. It's kind of pliable, and you could wrap that around him, and he can hold this little sword. I don't know if I'll use it. I may. I mean, it adds a little bit to it, gives a little bit of extra character, a little bit of extra color. So who knows, I may use that. And then he comes with these two little, I don't know, Sai style sword things. These are also sculpted very nicely. They're, you know, fairly rigid, kind of sharp. Just be careful. You don't want to stab yourself with that. But these are just ripe and ready for paint. The only thing that I don't care for is this little peg on here, which it is nice because you can plug them together, but then when you unplug them, it's got this little peg. The other one doesn't. It's got a hole. I don't know if I love that, but I don't hate it, but it's kind of cool. You can put these together. Looks like a mustache. So I think that's cool. So you guys are all waiting. Am I back? Am I back into collecting? Am I going to have in like a month 400 of these things? I'm not going to have 400 of these, but I will say I've been looking at Big Bad Toy Store. I've been looking at the Four Horsemen website. I'm probably going to get some more. I don't know if I'm going to stick with the Legion builders and start customizing these things myself, but I am definitely going to get at least one or two more. At least. But I don't know when. Right now, well, at least. So here's the deal. About a week after I ordered this guy went on sale on Big Bad Toy Store. I think I paid $44, and he's at like 33 right now. So that was a bit of a bummer. I might get the dwarf. I might get a couple others, and if I do, I probably should get them now before they come off of sale. For all I know, they already have come off of sale. But yeah, I'm definitely going to get a couple more. Does this mean that I'm back up and running with collecting? I don't think so, but this is definitely going to make it a lot harder for me because I will for sure get at least one or two more. I have no idea where I'm going to display these things, but they're just too fun. It's too intriguing to me. The fact that I can kit bash and swap body parts to create my own characters, that's just a little bit too enticing to me to not do it. So there you have it. This is a weirdly long, yammering on review of a figure that's kind of old now at this point. So I appreciate that you guys sat through it. I hope you enjoyed my opinion. I hope you enjoyed this format, a little more informal. If you did, hit the like button, the subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a comment. Are you collecting Mythic Legions, and are you customizing them? Are you getting the Legion builders? If you are customizing them, if you could, either DM me pictures of what you've done with it, especially if you have this goblin. But I'm just really interested in seeing what people are doing with their customizations because I need ideas once I get past the little dots. So there you have it. I appreciate it. Let's just end the video. It's already too long. So we'll see you later, you guys.